Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I hope you are doing very well. And I'm going to be speaking to you about something that's very, very, very close to me and something I'm very passionate about. It's the work that I do for people. So what do I do for clients and how do I help people? I help people in a condensed version is create a life on their terms. I help them create a life that they love, a life that inspires them by working on their mindset, by working on their self-image, their self-sabotage, their anxiety, their self-doubt, their depression, their planning, their follow-through, their business, leadership, and all the above. So that's, I guess, condensed what it is that I do. And I'm going to be showing you I'm going to actually be pulling back the curtain right now and showing you some actual things that I do with clients to help them. So if you don't already, if you're not, watching the video version, I would encourage you to watch the video version of this podcast. So I believe YouTube and Spotify have that. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, I don't think the video is there. It may or may not be. I could be wrong. But if you do have the ability to watch this video, about probably halfway through this, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So I would encourage you to see the video version if you can, of course. So, but if you can't, don't stress. You'll still get some value without the video anyway. So with that, guys, I'm going to be showing you how to go from A to Z of where you are right now in your life, living the life that you have, to the life that you love, where you live a life on your terms, where you wake up and only do things that you absolutely want to do, that you'd love to do, that you're inspired to do, and the steps you need to take to get there. So before I get started, if I can ask one massive favor, if you could like the video. It takes literally 3 seconds. It helps heaps with the algorithm, with reaching more people and helping more people. So if you can take 3 seconds of your day to like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, that would be incredible. Leave a review if you haven't, and leave a comment below. I do respond to all of my comments for my podcast and my YouTube channel. So if you've done that for me, thank you so much, and let's get straight into the video. So this is the very first thing I start with every single client. Whenever I work with anyone, whether it's an organization, whether it's an entrepreneur, whether it's a mum and dad, whether it's a leader in a business, first thing I always start with is understanding who you authentically are. Because we go through life and we pick up a lot of beliefs, a lot of self-image, a lot of doubt, a lot of trauma of things that aren't truly us. So for you to be able to create a life that you love, you need to know who you are authentically. So instead of wearing a mask or trying to be someone that you're not, or trying to, shield wounds that you haven't healed through, and I'll get to that topic very soon. So the first thing I always start with is understanding who are you authentically. I overuse this quote, but it's the Statue of David. And I overuse it because it's such a beautiful story to share, or analogy to get this point across. So Michelangelo made the Statue of David, and someone asked, how did you make such a beautiful piece of art? And his answer was beautiful. He said, it was really easy. David was always there in the statue. I just had to remove everything that wasn't him. So again, if you apply that to this analogy, who are you authentically behind the mask? Behind the front that you show to the world? Behind the hurt, or underneath that hurt that you haven't healed through. So I always work on that. I focus on that first, because before you can go anywhere, you need to know where you're starting, right? You need to know if you're in your car and you're going to start driving somewhere, or you want to get to an end location, you need to know where your starting point is. And that comes down to understanding who you are. And what do I mean by all of this? What are your values? And we'll go into purpose, mission, vision as well, but what are you intrinsically pulled to do? What are you called to do? I was doing a live video just before I jumped on this podcast, and someone asked, what motivates you the most? My values motivate me. And I don't like to use the word motivation. Motivation's extrinsic, inspiration's intrinsic. So I like the word inspiration, but your values are things that inspire you and intrinsically pull you to take action. No one needed to motivate me to make this podcast. It's currently 7:40 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm in my office recording a podcast. No one had to send me a follow-up message to motivate me and keep me accountable to do this. I wanted to do this. I was pulled to do this. I was like, you know what? I'm finished for the week. I'm prepared for the week. What do I feel like doing? I don't feel like watching TV. I don't feel like playing video games. I don't feel like reading. I've done enough reading today. I feel like making a podcast. Let's go make a podcast, because I was drawn to doing it. Because my highest value is coaching, and podcast for me is coaching. I'm adding value to you guys. Hopefully I'm adding value to you guys. So this is what I'm inspired to do. And you have the same things in you. You have your version. You have your values. Is it your family? Is it your relationship? Is it your career? Is it business? Is it impacting others? Is it traveling the world? Is it experiencing the world? Is it music? Is it dancing? Is it art? Is it cars? What is it? Now, I have this debacle with some people about what values are. And some people say, I value honesty, loyalty, respect, integrity, all that stuff. Those are not, in my world, values. Those are like human traits that we like in others and we like in ourselves. But people say, I value honesty. And I say, tell me the last time you lied. Because we all lie. We are all honest. We are all unhonest. We are all nice. We are all mean. We are all giving. We are all taking. We are all positive. We are all negative. We share all traits. So for me, values are areas of your life that are most important to you. So people say, I value honesty. How do you prioritize honesty in your life? How much time do you spend doing honesty? I get it. You like that trait. I won't go down that rabbit hole. But whatever the values are in your life, they're meaningful to you. So that's where we start. So we start with, who are you authentically? So my question and invitation to you is figure out your values. How do you do that? Go to Lewis Huckstep on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel and type in Lewis Huckstep values. And there's a free video there and I train you how to do it. And there's a free PDF to download and actually do the exercise. So it's there, pen and paper, it's there. No excuse besides you spending, it'll take you about 30 minutes. Spend probably 45 minutes for the first time. Spend 45 minutes, go determine your values. Beautiful. First thing ticked off. From there, we then want to understand, where do you want to go? Where's the direction? So again, we're in our car. We now have a starting location. That's who we are. That's who we are authentically are as human beings that inspire us, and we know what lights us up. We know what sets our soul on fire. Beautiful. So where are we going to go? What's the vision? Because until you have a vision for the future, you will repeat the past. And I won't go into all the sort of nitty-gritty science of that, but until you have a desirable future, you will not let go of your unwanted past. Even if you don't like it, you'll keep it because we value certainty. Human beings, our baseline of survival is we value certainty. I won't go into it too much, but make sure you have a vision. So what I do and how I do vision with my clients is we get your values and then we expand on that. So I'll ask you the question, say relationship, say family, say career, say finances, and say health. Say they're your values. I'd say, okay, what does your vision look like in those areas in the next 5 to 10 years? So in the next 5 to 10 years, if everything goes to plan and you achieve the goals you want to achieve, what does your life look like in those areas? And the devil is in the detail. You've got to go nitty gritty. What house do you wake up in? What does your day look like? I do a dream day exercise for my clients as well. So you wake up, what time do you wake up? Do you wake up to an alarm or do you wake up to the sun? What do you do when you first wake up? Do you go train? Do you meditate? Do you spend time with your kids? Do you spend time with your partner? What time do you choose to work? And what do you choose to do work on? Are you running your own business? Are you working for someone else? If you are running your own business, what roles are you doing within your business? What time do you have lunch? What do you have for lunch? Who do you spend your time with at lunch? What time do you choose to stop working? What do you do after you stop working? And literally get into the granular details of your life. Because once you've got the location, you'll see that one of the steps is we just need the plan to fucking get there. We just got to figure out, what do I need to do? How much income do I need to earn? What vehicle do I need to have to allow me to earn that income and also have the lifestyle I'm after for me to live that life? Beautiful. You probably need to start, for anyone that wants some form of financial and time freedom, you're probably going to have to get into business, or you're going to have to be good with your investing, invest into the stock market or property, whatever your choice of investments are. We're not going to go down crypto. Not a fan of it, but that's a conversation for another day. But chances are you're probably going to have something to do with earning more income. Unless you're just a really high income earner already at the job that you're in. Awesome. Just take your income, whack it into some investments, some property, some stocks, and you can get your passive income from that. And then your passive income will reach a point where it matches the income needed to live your dream day. And your quote, if anyone's done Robert Kiyosaki's work, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you are, quote, out of the rat race, where you earn enough money and you don't have to work. Imagine that. And just for theoretical numbers, I normally use $1,000 to $2,000. Say you were earning $2,000 a week and you didn't have to work. What would you do? Start thinking like that. And then if it means enough to you, if that vision is clear enough and you want it badly enough and you're prepared to make the sacrifices to get there, you then move into the third step is you just need a fucking bulletproof plan to get there. What are your priorities that you're working on to move you towards that very outcome? So how much income do you need to earn? Let's use $2,000. How are you going to earn $2,000? And I'm getting a little bit detail here, but this is what I do with my clients. There's two options. Is you build a vehicle, whether it's investments or it's a business or something like that, where it runs without you, essentially, or minimal time, like maybe an hour or 2 hours a week to look over it and make sure it's all doing well. And you build that, and then it makes you money while you sleep, and then you do whatever you want every single day. Or you do what you love, and you would do it even if you weren't paid, and then you get paid to do that. How do you do what you love and get beautifully paid to do it? It's a good question to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself that question. So those are the two options I go down. You can do both. I've done both, and I have friends that have done both, and some people do one or the other. There's no right or wrong. I've got people that have a epic portfolio of property, and they earn hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year, and they don't have to get out of bed. And then they just literally read, go to the beach, hang out with their kids. Awesome. And then some people like me, I'm a coach. I love coaching. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be bored. So I love doing this. This is fun. This lights me up. This is my purpose. So this is what I'm doing because I enjoy it. And then I'm building a business doing that. So I'm loving what I do. I'm doing what I love, and I'm getting beautifully paid to do it. So those are the two options I'd like for you to consider. Would you like to do what you love and get paid to do it? Or would you rather spend the time, energy, and effort building some form of an asset, whether, again, it's a stock portfolio or it's property or it's a business? Business, I would suggest doing that, because to do the other ones, you need money. You need money to make money. Like, go read Robert Kiyosaki, do the Rich Dad, Poor Dad stuff. I teach this stuff as well, but go learn the rules of money and trading time for money to understand that better. But that's what you need. You need a plan of how are you going to get there. So you've got your dream day. You wake up, you know what time you wake up, what you do with your time, what you do for work, what you choose to do for work, when you choose to knock off, all of that good stuff. Then you just need a plan. How am I going to get there? What's the price that I need to pay to get this? And am I prepared to pay that price? Most people aren't. Most people are instant gratification seekers, and they aren't prepared to make sacrifices short term for freedom long term, and they're just not prepared to do it. And that's why 1% of the world owns like 99% of the wealth or something ridiculous like that. That's why very, very, very few people truly live a life where they do what they love every single day. They're caught in the rat race, which is what I was talking about before, where you're constantly having to work to earn money, to pay your bills, to keep earning money, to keep paying your bills. And if you stop earning money, you can't pay your bills. That's what most people do for the majority of their life. They retire off a pension or a superannuation or a 401k. And they retire. Most people's retirement money doesn't make it to the end anymore, but that's what most people do. And there's no right or wrong with that. Most people aren't taught that, right? We're not taught this in school. This is why I'm passionate about what I'm doing, because I wish I knew this in school. I would get out of the rat race quicker than what I've done. So you need a plan. What's your plan? What are you doing the next 12 months? So I've got the planning process. So for the guys that are watching the video, this is what we do. So this is literally my work that I do. So it's called my Inspired Life Method, and I work with clients to literally create a life that they love. How to have a life where they do what they love every single day, and you delegate the rest. So firstly, we work on your purpose. So what is your purpose in life? In order though, I actually do values first. I've got a process to figure out values. Then I've got a process using your values to figure out your purpose or discover what your purpose is in life. Then we set a 5 to 10 year mission and vision. Mission is a goal. What's the big ask, big, hairy, audacious goal for anyone that's heard of a BHAG before in the business world? So what's a big 5 to 10 year goal? Like a target. How many clients, how much revenue, how many countries, how many views, how many subscribers, whatever it may be. Then the vision is what I was talking about before. What does your dream day look like? What does your family, your health, your business, your finances, what does that look like? Values, I spoke about that before. And then we go into outcomes. Now, this is where we get practical. What are we going to do in the next 12 months? And for the first time, if you're doing this for the first time with your planning process, it's normally a bit of a brainstorming session when you first do it, because you're new to it. You're not used to setting goals at this level. So the first time you do anything, you're going to suck at it. That's welcome to learning, welcome to life. So when you first start planning, you're probably not going to be spot on, but you just get better every time you do it. I redo this whole process every 3 months. So what are we doing in the next 12 months? What are our 12-month outcomes? So brainstorm, write them all down. You then identify your top 3 to 5. because you got to prioritize something. You can't play five sports and be professional at all of them. You can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything you want in life. You got to make sure you're prioritizing the right things. So what do you do in the next 12 months? Identify the top 3 to 5. It might start a business, might start getting some clients, might write a book, might start a podcast, might change jobs, might travel to 3 countries, whatever it may be. Doesn't matter. Might have X amount of dollars in an investment account. You're doing some investing. Fantastic. Then you take those top 3 to 5 and you chunk them into quarterly goals. So if that's the 12-month goal, what's the 3-month equivalent of that goal? What are you going to do in the next 3 months to move towards it? What you'll find is when you first do goal setting, you realize how quickly you can get shit done. People overestimate what they can do in a year. They underestimate what they can do in a decade. And people just don't realize how resourceful you can be and how productive you can be when you have a fucking plan, like a really solid, bulletproof plan to get shit done. Because it's so funny. I've done this with clients. So we do the 12-month, I guess, brain dumping and brainstorming. We identify them and they tick off like 3 of them in a week. Great. Now go back to your plan or back to that brainstorming session and find your next ones and put them in. But let's say, for example, you might say, I want to save $10,000. Awesome. So in the next quarter, you probably want to save 2.5. That's a quarter of 10. So 2,500. And then you break it down to monthly. What does that look like monthly? Break it down to weekly, and then you break it down to daily. Now, there's obviously nuances when it comes to planning. I go into more detail in that in my program, in the work that I do with my clients. But just for the purpose of this video, you want to get clear on your plan. So what do you do in the next 12 months, next quarter, next month, next week, next day? Now, I want to give you something. This is the process of what I take people through. So this is just something that has changed my life. So it's called daily huddles. I do this every day. I sometimes don't do them on weekends if I'm chilling out, but I do them some weekends as well. But I do this every single day, Monday to Friday. I do this with my team, but I also do this with myself, with my partner, and with my clients as well. So every single day I write down in a group chat and individually to my partner as well, what am I excited for today? What am I doing today? What am I excited about? Get some good energy, good frequency, good vibrations happening. What are my outcomes for yesterday, done or not done? And why weren't they done? Extreme transparency and accountability. You want to be held accountable. Social pressure is one of the most powerful forces you can use. When you tell someone you're going to do something, and you tell many people you're going to do something, it increases the probability of you doing it. Because if you come onto the huddle the next day and you have to tell everyone that you didn't do anything that you said you were going to do, how does it make you feel? You feel kind of shit. And that's the point. You want that transparency. And if you're around the right culture and the right people to hold you accountable, that's why it's so good and so powerful to be around the right circle of people to challenge you to grow and be better. They're going to call you out on it. Hey, why didn't you get that done? What was the reason? And obviously in that question, as you can see on your screen, there is that part. Why weren't they done? Because there might be a valid reason. Your phone broke, family member got sick, car blew up, something went wrong. Fair enough. But if you can see just how over time, the level of transparency and therefore the level of growth that happens by doing this. It's really, really cool. What are your outcomes for today? And I won't get into this today, but a lot of people mistake movement for progress. They get caught up with being busy instead of being productive. So you want to make sure outcomes. Instead of saying, I want to do some reading, you might read 2 sentences and you did that, versus I'm going to read 10 pages. I'm going to do some lead generation and talk to some people versus book in 10 leads or book in 5 sales consultations or something like that. So get clear on outcomes, not tick lists. Do you need any support with these outcomes? So there's no excuse for the next day where you're like, well, I didn't know how to do it. Well, why don't you ask for some support? And then last question, what are you grateful for today? If you do that, if you don't never listen to a podcast again, you never listen to my voice ever again, if you just start doing this, find yourself an accountability buddy, whether it's your partner or a business partner or a friend or just someone that can hold you accountable, and you just send that to each other every single day, your life will change because you're having clarity on what you're doing. And then in our planning process, I'm not going to go into the details in this video, but in our planning process, we have reviewing. So you review your days, obviously on a daily basis. You review your weeks on a weekly basis. You review your months on a monthly basis, quarterly on a quarterly basis, annual on an annual basis. And I have a process and system of how do you actually do the review process. I'm not doing that on today's podcast, but you get the deal. Have a bulletproof plan so you know what the hell you're doing on what needs to get done for you to work towards that dream day and work towards that vision. Now, the last step. Now, this is where I guess most of my passion comes from. And this ties into the purpose and to your values and all that stuff. But work on you. Work on your beliefs. Work on your self-worth. Work on your confidence. Work on your self-sabotage, your anxiety, your depression, your self-doubt, your ego. Work on that, because what you achieve in the external world is an expression of your internal world. If you've got a lot of conflict and anger and shame and guilt and frustration and addiction and whatever inside of you, it's going to manifest in your life, in your business, in your relationship, in your friendships, and whatever it may be. So this is why I use the analogy, you're driving a car with the handbrake on. You've put your foot on the accelerator, you're taking heaps of action, and you're going nowhere. It's very fucking exhausting. That's why people self-sabotage. It's why people doubt themselves. It's why people procrastinate. People don't take action. People care about people's opinions or whatever it may be. It's just feedback to do some inner work. So work on yourself, whether that's a therapist, whether it's a coach like myself, whether it's a book or a seminar, whatever it may be, always work on you. You get in life who you are. You don't get in life what you want. So continuously work on yourself. I'd recommend work on limiting beliefs and self-image. I'd work around how to process things. Like if you're holding on to judgment or any negative energy, learn how to process that. I've got a process. That's one of the tools that I go through with my clients, is how to process things, how to let go, how to forgive, how to move on, how to stop hanging on to shit, right? Because whatever you're hanging on to is weighing you down. And whatever you put focus on expands. So if I say, don't look for the yellow bus, what are you looking at? What are you thinking about? You're looking for it. So if you've got anger, resentment, shame, guilt, whatever it is, negative stuff inside of you, work on that, because it's going to be showing up and manifesting in your life. So that was my fourth step. So just to refresh those for you quickly. Number one, understand who you authentically are. Get clear on your values. Who are you? What lights you up? What's meaningful to you? Because it's individual to you. What lights you up is going to be different to what lights someone else up. So get clear on you. Number two, where do you want to go? What's your vision? What's your purpose? What's your mission? Where do you want to go in the next 5 to 10 years? And get detailed. Do a dream day. Go through your dream day. What time do you wake up? What do you do every minute? What does your dream day look like? Then how much money do you need to earn that? And then what vehicle are you going to use to earn that type of income with giving you the lifestyle at the same time? 3, get a bulletproof fucking plan. Get a solid plan in place. Where are you going in the next 5 to 10 years, which is the mission? Then 12 months, quarter, month, week, and day. Do daily huddles. Number 4, work on yourself. Get clear on the stuff that you haven't worked through, your beliefs, your self-image, self-doubt, anxiety, depression, confidence, self-esteem, self-sabotage, your ego, whatever it may be. Work on you, learn how to process, learn how to heal, learn how to regulate your emotions, learn how to heal through your wounds and your traumas, all the above. That's all stuff that I do. I hope that helped, guys. I hope you got value from this. If you did, comment down below, leave me a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and if you are interested in working on you, on anything I've spoken about today, everything I've spoken about is stuff that I do and I work with myself and my clients, and you're interested and you're prepared and you're ready to work on yourself, go into the caption below. There's a link there for a strategy call with me. I only do a certain amount per week. It is me doing the calls, so I only have so many spaces on my calendar, so they do run out. There are not going to be many left by the time you see this, so click on the link, book in for a call with me if you're ready to grow and you're willing to do the work, because I can drag a horse to water, can't make it drink. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. Thank you for watching. Send this to a friend. I love you. See you on the next one. Bye.